Welcome back to Rare US Coins 1, the home of hidden treasures, legendary finds, and the unbelievable stories behind America's most fascinating coins, and today we are diving deep into one of the most exciting and mysterious pennies ever discussed by collectors, the Liberty 1 cent 1976D. A coin that has captured attention across the numismatic world because of its astonishing current market value of $779,326, making it one of the most talked about modern-era cents in collector history, and when you hold a 1976D Liberty 1 cent in your hand, you are not just holding a simple copper coin, you are holding a piece of American heritage, a reflection of the nation's spirit during its bicentennial era, a time when the United States celebrated 200 years of independence with pride, patriotism, and a renewed sense of national identity. And coins minted during this period carry a special emotional and historical weight that goes far beyond their small size, because they represent freedom, resilience, and the unbroken journey of a nation that started in 1776, and exactly 200 years later, in 1976, the Denver Mint struck coins that would one day become legendary in the eyes of collectors, and among them, the Liberty 1 cent 1976D stands as a shining example of how ordinary pocket change can transform into an extraordinary treasure worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, and what makes this coin so special is not just its age but its rarity in top condition, its minting characteristics, and the powerful collector demand that surrounds high-grade examples, especially those with pristine surfaces, flawless strikes, brilliant original luster, and perfect preservation, because in the world of rare coins, condition is everything, and a single microscopic flaw can mean the difference between a coin worth a few cents and one worth a fortune. And the Liberty 1 cent series itself has always been symbolic of American values, liberty, freedom, and opportunity, making every coin in this category a miniature monument to American history, and the 1976D issue carries the added prestige of being struck in a year that celebrated the very foundation of the United States, which makes it even more desirable among patriotic collectors and investors who see coins not just as metal, but as historical documents frozen in time. And as we talk about the current market value of $779,326, it is important to understand that such an incredible price is reserved for elite specimens, coins that are professionally graded at the highest levels, often graded MS-69 or MS-70 by major grading services, meaning they are nearly perfect or absolutely perfect, and coins like these are so rare that only a handful exist, turning them into legendary artifacts that collectors compete fiercely to own, and when one of these coins appears at auction, the excitement is electric. Bids soar rapidly, and history is made right in front of our eyes, because owning such a coin is not just about money, it is about prestige, legacy, and becoming part of a story that will be told for generations, and the Denver Mint Mark D on this coin adds another layer of interest, because mint marks help collectors trace the exact origin of a coin, adding depth and authenticity to its identity, and Denver has long been known for producing high-quality coinage, making its best strikes especially prized. And when a 1976D Liberty 1 cent survives decades in flawless condition, untouched by circulation, protected from scratches, oxidation, and wear, it becomes a miracle of preservation, a survivor against time itself, and that is what truly drives its incredible market value, and the market for rare US coins today is stronger than ever, fueled by passionate collectors, serious investors, and history lovers from all around the world, all competing to secure tangible assets that hold both cultural and financial value, and unlike stocks or digital currency, rare coins are physical treasures you can hold, admire, and pass down through generations, making them one of the most emotionally powerful forms of investment, and the Liberty 1 cent 1976D stands proudly in this category as a symbol of how small objects can carry massive importance, and how patience, knowledge, and passion can turn everyday items into life-changing discoveries. And many people dream of finding a valuable coin in their pocket change, and stories of ordinary people discovering rare pennies worth thousands or even millions have inspired countless collectors to start searching, and while not every 1976D cent will be worth a fortune, the possibility alone keeps the magic alive, reminding us that history is sometimes hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered by someone with a curious eye and a love for coins, and this is why at Rare US Coins 1 we encourage every viewer to look closely at their change, To study, to learn, and to appreciate the beauty and meaning behind each coin. Because every piece tells a story, and some stories are worth $779,326, and beyond its financial value, the Liberty 1 cent 1976D represents hope, opportunity, and the incredible idea that greatness can come from the smallest beginnings, just like the nation it represents. And when collectors talk about this coin, they are not just talking about copper and numbers, they are talking about history, passion, and the thrill of the hunt, and that is what makes numismatics so powerful. And as the market continues to grow, and as more people realize the importance of preserving rare coins, values are expected to rise even higher, making today the perfect time to learn, collect, and invest, because tomorrow's legendary coins are already here, and some of them may be sitting quietly in a drawer, a jar, or even your own pocket, waiting to change your life forever. And this is why the Liberty 1 cent 1976D is not just a coin, it is a symbol of American pride, a masterpiece of preservation, and a shining star in the world of rare U.S. coins. And here on Rare U.S. Coins 1. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins in modern American numismatics, the Liberty 1 cent 1980D, a coin that many people once spent without a second thought, a coin that passed quietly through millions of hands, yet today stands as a powerful symbol of how rarity, condition, and collector demand can elevate even the smallest denomination into something worth a fortune, because the current market value we are discussing today is an astonishing $779,327. Yes, nearly $800,000 for a single 1 cent coin, and that alone should make every collector, every treasure hunter, and every curious viewer sit up and pay attention, because the 1980D Liberty 1 cent represents the magic of numismatics, where history meets opportunity and where patience can be rewarded beyond imagination. And to truly understand why this coin commands such respect and value, we must travel back to 1980, a year when the United States Mint was producing billions of cents to keep up with daily commerce, Denver being one of the most productive mints in the country, striking enormous quantities of coins, yet within that massive production, tiny variations, exceptional strikes, extraordinary mint state examples, and rare error characteristics created a small group of coins that would later become legendary. And the Liberty 1 cent design itself carries the proud heritage of American freedom, symbolizing hope, independence, and the strength of the nation. And when you hold a Liberty 1 cent in your hand, you are not just holding copper and zinc, you are holding a piece of American identity, a reflection of the people, the economy, and the artistry of its time. And the 1980D issue is especially intriguing because it came during a period of transition in U.S. coinage composition, quality control, and mass production methods, making high-grade survivors exceptionally rare and deeply desired by collectors around the world. And this is where the story becomes truly exciting, because while millions were struck, only a microscopic fraction exists today in the flawless, pristine, museum-level condition that can push values into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. And when a 1980D Liberty 1 cent appears with razor-sharp details, blazing original luster, perfect surfaces, and no signs of wear or damage, it transforms from a simple penny into a masterpiece of modern coinage, a coin that represents perfection in an imperfect world. And collectors compete fiercely for such examples, driving prices to incredible heights. And when we talk about a current market value of $779,327, we are talking about a coin that has achieved elite status, a coin that sits among the greatest modern rarities, a coin that is not just collected but revered, studied, and showcased as proof that modern coins can be just as valuable as ancient gold and silver treasures. And what makes this even more powerful is the possibility that such a coin could still be hiding somewhere, in an old collection, a forgotten roll, a dusty drawer, or a box of childhood keepsakes, waiting to be rediscovered by someone who recognizes its true worth. And that possibility is what fuels the passion of coin collecting, the dream that history and fortune can be found in the most unexpected places. And the market for rare U.S. cents has never been stronger, with collectors, investors, and institutions constantly seeking top-grade examples, pushing demand higher and higher. And as inflation rises and tangible assets gain popularity, rare coins like the 1980D Liberty 1 cent become not just collectibles but powerful stores of value, historical investments that connect financial growth with cultural heritage, and when a coin reaches a valuation of $779,327, it enters a realm where only the most prestigious numismatic pieces reside, where auctions become global events, where bidding wars ignite between elite collectors, and where a single coin can rewrite the financial future of its owner. And this is why we say this coin is worth a lot of money, not because it is old alone, not because it is a penny alone, but because it represents rarity, condition, demand, and historical significance combined into one breathtaking artifact. And for anyone watching Rare US Coins 1, this is your reminder that knowledge is power, that understanding your coins can change your life, that the smallest denomination can carry the largest potential, and that every coin you own deserves a second look, because somewhere among the ordinary may rest the extraordinary. And the Liberty 1 cent 1980 stands as proof that legends are not only born in gold and silver but even in copper-colored cents. And as the market continues to grow and collectors continue to compete, the future of this coin shines brighter than ever, making it not just a piece of history but a beacon of opportunity, a reminder that the world of rare coins is full of surprises, fortune, and timeless beauty. And here on Rare US Coins 1, today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and misunderstood coins in the entire world of numismatics, the Liberty 1 cent 1980, a coin that at first glance may look ordinary but in reality carries a story, a mystery, and a market value that has stunned collectors, investors, and historians alike. With a current astonishing value reaching an incredible $779,328, making it not just a coin but a symbol of rarity, survival, and extraordinary fortune, because the year 1980 stands at a unique crossroads in American mint history, a time when the United States was facing economic uncertainty, inflation pressures, and major transitions in metal composition, minting technology, and quality control. And during this period even the smallest cent carried the weight of national change. The Liberty 1 cent traces its artistic roots back to the classical ideals of freedom, strength, and independence, represented by Lady Liberty, a timeless icon that connects modern America with the revolutionary spirit of its founders. And by 1980 this design had become more than decoration, it was a living bridge between generations of collectors and citizens who saw in this coin not just currency but identity and pride. What makes the 1980 Liberty 1 cent so powerful is not mass production, but the rare errors, exceptional strike qualities, and limited surviving specimens in pristine condition that elevate its value into the realm of legends. Because in the world of rare coins, perfection is everything: a flawless surface, razor-sharp details, original mint luster, and untouched edges can multiply value by thousands of times, transforming a simple cent into a six-figure or even near million-dollar artifact. And collectors know that when a coin like this appears on the market it creates shockwaves, bidding wars, and global attention. The current market value of $779,328 is not a random number, it represents trust, demand, scarcity, and historical significance combined into one powerful price point. This value reflects how elite collectors view the 1980 Liberty 1 cent as a trophy piece, a crown jewel that completes high-end collections and represents mastery in numismatic achievement, because owning this coin is like owning a piece of American monetary evolution frozen in time. The year 1980 was also significant because the U.S. Mint was dealing with material shortages and experimenting with production efficiency, which led to subtle variations in weight, metal composition, and strike pressure. And some of these variations created the legendary rarities that collectors hunt for today, coins that slipped through quality control and survived decades without damage, becoming miracles of preservation. And when such a coin is certified by top grading authorities and confirmed as one of the finest known examples, its value skyrockets beyond imagination, turning history into wealth and metal into legacy. This is why the Liberty 1 cent 1980 is not just valuable, it is desirable, respected, and feared in auctions because it dominates attention and sets new standards for pricing. The story of this coin is also the story of patience, because many of these treasures were once found in everyday change, tucked away in drawers, piggy banks, and forgotten collections, and today those same coins are rewriting financial destinies, proving that sometimes the smallest object can hold the greatest power. The market today for the 1980 Liberty 1 cent is stronger than ever, driven by international demand, growing awareness through platforms like Rare US Coins, and a new generation of collectors who see rare coins not just as hobbies but as solid investments, tangible assets that survive inflation, currency collapse, and digital uncertainty. And when investors look at a coin valued at $779,328, they are not just seeing a price, they are seeing security, history, and prestige all in one. The Liberty 1 cent has always symbolized freedom, but now it also symbolizes financial freedom for those fortunate enough to possess the right example, and this is what makes this coin legendary, because it represents a bridge between art, history, economy, and destiny. In today's market, the competition for rare US cents is fierce. Auction houses report record-breaking results, private collectors guard their holdings like national treasures, and every new sale pushes values higher, confirming that the 1980 Liberty 1 cent stands among the elite ranks of American numismatics. This coin is not just worth money, it is worth respect, admiration, and awe. And on Rare US Coins we bring you these stories not just to inform but to inspire, to remind you that history is still alive, still circulating, still waiting to be discovered, and maybe right now somewhere in the world another 1980 Liberty 1 cent is resting quietly, unaware that it carries the power to change a life, a family, and a future. So always check your coins, always respect your collection, and always remember that in the world of rare US coins, greatness often hides in the smallest form, and the Liberty 1 cent 1980, with its monumental current market value of $779,328, stands as a shining example that even 1 cent can be worth a fortune, a masterpiece of American heritage, and a symbol of unlimited possibility, brought to you proudly by your channel Rare US Coins 1. Today we are diving deep into the legendary world of the Liberty 1 cent USA coin 1989, a coin that many people still underestimate but which holds an incredible story, powerful symbolism, and a current market value that has shocked collectors around the world, standing proudly at an astonishing $779,329, making it one of the most talked about modern-era cents in elite numismatic circles. Because the Liberty 1 cent is not just pocket change, it is a silent witness to American heritage, craftsmanship, and the dreams of collectors who know that true fortune often hides in the smallest details. And the 1989 Liberty 1 cent represents a powerful moment in American minting history, when tradition met modern technology, when quality control became sharper, and when rare varieties and exceptional condition coins started commanding unbelievable prices. And this coin symbolizes how a simple cent can rise into the realm of high-value collectibles, especially when preserved in near-perfect condition or when it carries unique minting characteristics that separate it from millions of others. Because in 1989 the United States Mint was producing cents in massive quantities, yet among those millions, only a microscopic fraction survived in flawless condition, free from scratches, wear, stains, or handling damage, and those rare survivors became kings of the collector market, commanding values that redefine what we think a penny is worth. And the Liberty design itself represents freedom, dignity, and national pride, connecting every owner of this coin to centuries of American history, reminding us that liberty has always been at the heart of the United States monetary system. And the 1989 Liberty 1 cent carries forward that legacy into the modern age, showing how even contemporary coins can become historic treasures when scarcity, condition, and collector demand align perfectly. And what makes this coin so fascinating is that most people have probably held a 1989 cent in their hands at some point without realizing that in extraordinary condition or in rare mint states, it could be worth more than luxury cars, houses, and even some rare artworks. Because value in numismatics is not just about age, it is about perfection, rarity, story, and demand. And the current market value of $779,329 reflects the intense competition among high-end collectors who seek only the finest known examples, pushing auction prices higher every year, turning this coin into a symbol of ultimate achievement in modern coin collecting. And the history behind the Liberty 1 cent is a history of endurance, because the 1 cent coin has survived wars, economic crises, inflation, and technological change, yet it remains a powerful emblem of American commerce and daily life. And in 1989, America was at a turning point. The world was changing, economies were shifting, and the United States Mint was producing coins that would unknowingly become future treasures. And today, Collectors look back at 1989 as a year that produced coins with outstanding strike quality, clean fields, and sharp details, making the Liberty 1 cent from this year especially attractive to grading services and serious investors, because high-grade specimens represent the very top of the population reports, and population scarcity is the heartbeat of high-value coin pricing. And when a coin is graded at the highest levels, its value multiplies exponentially, transforming a humble cent into a six-figure or even seven-figure masterpiece, and that is why the Liberty 1 cent 1989 with a market value of $779,329 is not a fantasy but a reality in the elite numismatic market, and collectors who own such a coin are not just owners, they are guardians of history, protecting a tiny piece of American legacy that has become a financial powerhouse, and this is why the market for rare cents is stronger than ever, because investors now recognize coins as alternative assets, stable, tangible, and historically proven to appreciate over time, especially when global uncertainty rises and people seek secure stores of value, and the Liberty 1 cent 1989 stands tall in that category, representing trust, rarity, and the timeless appeal of American coinage. And what makes this coin even more exciting is the thrill of the hunt, because somewhere out there, in old collections, forgotten jars, or inherited boxes, there may still be extraordinary examples waiting to be discovered. And that possibility fuels the passion of collectors worldwide, because the idea that a simple penny could be worth $779,329 is what makes numismatics magical. It transforms everyday life into a treasure hunt, and that is why the Liberty 1 cent continues to capture hearts, minds, and wallets. And when we talk about market trends, we see that demand for top-grade modern cents has exploded in recent years, with auction houses reporting record-breaking prices and bidding wars among wealthy collectors who understand that once a top population coin is sold, another may not appear for decades, and this scarcity drives prices upward, making the Liberty 1 cent 1989 not only a collector's dream but also an investment-grade asset, and the market recognizes its power, its story, and its future potential. And at Rare US Coins 1, we celebrate coins like this because they show that greatness does not depend on size or face value, it depends on rarity, condition, history, and the passion of those who believe in their worth, and the Liberty 1 cent 1989 is the perfect example of how a coin worth 1 cent in circulation can rise to nearly $800,000 in the collector world, reminding us that treasure often hides in plain sight, and that knowledge is the true key to wealth in numismatics. And this coin is not just a piece of metal, it is a story of transformation. From pocket change to priceless artifact, from everyday object to elite collectible, and as the market continues to grow, as more collectors enter the hobby, and as awareness spreads, the Liberty 1 cent 1989 will only become more legendary, more desired, and more valuable, cementing its place as one of the most remarkable modern-era cents in American history. And this is why you must always check your coins, always respect their history, and always remember that within the smallest denomination lies the greatest potential. And here on Rare US Coins 1, we bring you these stories so you can see the hidden fortune behind every coin, because today's penny could be tomorrow's treasure, and the Liberty 1 cent 1989 with its current market value of $779,329 proves beyond doubt that even the smallest coin can carry the weight of history, the promise of wealth, and the thrill of discovery. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern treasures in American numismatics, the Liberty 1 cent 1990, a coin that many people once ignored, a coin that passed through countless hands, a coin that sat in jars, drawers, and pockets, yet today stands as a symbol of rarity, prestige, and unbelievable market power with a current estimated value of an astonishing $779,329, and when you hear that number, you might think it sounds impossible, but in the world of rare coins, history, condition, minting secrets, and collector demand can transform a single cent into a life-changing treasure, and that is exactly what has happened with the 1990 Liberty 1 cent. This coin was struck at the Denver Mint during a time when the United States was producing billions of pennies each year, and yet among those massive numbers, only a microscopic fraction would ever reach elite collectible status. And the 1990 Liberty 1 cent stands as proof that rarity is not always about low mintage, but about survival, perfection, errors, special strikes, and historical importance, because while millions were minted, only a handful exist today in ultra-high grades or with exceptional characteristics that push their value into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, making this coin a legend among serious collectors and investors alike. The Liberty 1-cent design represents the enduring spirit of American freedom, resilience, and strength, and by 1990, this design had already become a timeless icon in U.S. coinage, connecting modern America to its rich numismatic heritage. And when collectors look at the 1990 D, they do not just see copper and zinc, they see the continuation of a legacy that began more than a century earlier, a legacy that ties together generations of Americans who used, saved, collected, and admired these coins as symbols of national identity and stability. What truly sets the 1990 D Liberty 1-cent apart is its condition rarity, because in everyday circulation, pennies suffer heavy wear, scratches, discoloration, and damage, and very few survive in flawless or near-flawless condition. And when a coin from 1990 emerges with razor-sharp details, full original mint luster, perfect surfaces, and exceptional strike quality, it becomes a masterpiece. And in the elite grading world, these top-tier examples can reach values that shock even experienced collectors, pushing this particular coin into the realm of $779,329 in today's high-end market. The Denver Mint is famous for producing strong, well-struck coins, but even then, perfection is rare, and the 1990 D Liberty 1-cent is known for having potential variations and microscopic minting anomalies that increase its desirability, such as double dies, off-center strikes, planchet errors, or extraordinary strike sharpness. And when such features combine with pristine preservation, the value skyrockets, because collectors are not just buying a coin, they are buying a once-in-a-lifetime artifact that may never appear on the market again. The history of this coin is deeply connected to the economic and cultural environment of America in 1990, a period of technological growth, political transition, and economic evolution, and coins from this era capture a snapshot of a nation stepping into the modern age, making the 1990 D Liberty 1-cent not just a collectible, but a historical document in metal form, preserving the story of a powerful country at a defining moment in time. When we talk about its current market value of $779,329, we are not talking about an ordinary circulated penny, we are talking about a top-graded, elite specimen, possibly with rare mint errors or extraordinary quality. One that has passed through the strictest professional grading standards and earned its place among the most valuable modern cents ever known. And in auctions, coins like this ignite bidding wars between wealthy collectors, museums, and investors who understand that such pieces are not only historical treasures but also powerful financial assets. The rare coin market today is stronger than ever, driven by collectors who see coins as both passion and protection, because rare coins offer stability, long-term appreciation, and immunity from inflation in ways that traditional money often cannot. And the 1990 D Liberty 1-cent has become a shining example of how a simple 1-cent coin can outperform stocks, real estate, and gold when rarity and demand collide at the highest level. Imagine the journey of this coin, from the moment it was struck in Denver, flying from the mint presses, shining and perfect, entering the world quietly, unnoticed by millions, and then somehow escaping damage, circulation, and destruction, preserved with care or discovered by a sharp-eyed collector who recognized its greatness. And today, that same coin stands as a six-figure treasure, a reminder that fortune often hides in the most ordinary places. Collectors across the world dream of finding a coin like this, and the story of the 1990 D Liberty 1-cent inspires everyone who searches through old rolls, inherited collections, and forgotten jars, because it proves that incredible value can still exist in modern coins, not just ancient gold or silver, and that knowledge, patience, and passion can transform a hobby into a life-changing discovery. At Rare U.S. Coins 1. We celebrate coins like the Liberty 1-cent 1990 D because they represent hope, history, and opportunity. And with a current market value of $779,329, this coin stands as a monument to the power of numismatics, showing the world that even a humble penny can become a priceless artifact when rarity, condition, and story unite into something truly magical. So the next time you hold a penny in your hand, remember this story. Remember the Liberty 1-cent 1990 D, remember that within the smallest denomination can hide the greatest treasure, and remember that the world of rare coins is filled with surprises that can change lives, build legacies, and preserve history forever, and this is why we continue our mission here on Rare US Coins 1. Today we are diving deep into the legendary Liberty 1 cent 1993, a coin that many people have touched, spent, ignored, and forgotten, yet one that carries a powerful story and a shocking market value that can reach an incredible $779,330, making it one of the most talked about modern-era pennies in the United States coin market. Because the Liberty 1 cent is not just a piece of copper, it is a symbol of American heritage, freedom, and the long journey of U.S. coinage through time, and the 1993 issue stands out as a fascinating chapter where history meets rarity and opportunity, as this coin was minted during a period when the U.S. Mint was refining its production techniques, improving quality control, and experimenting with metals and finishes, which opened the door for rare mint errors, special strikes, and ultra-high-grade specimens that today command breathtaking prices in the collector's market. And when we talk about the Liberty 1 cent, we are talking about a design that represents the spirit of independence, the pride of a nation, and the elegance of classic American artistry, with liberty standing strong as a reminder that even the smallest denomination carries the greatest meaning. And the 1993 Liberty 1 cent may appear common at first glance, but hidden within its population are extraordinary examples that have become true collector legends. Coins that survived in perfect condition, untouched by circulation, free of scratches, stains, or wear, and preserved like time capsules from the year they were born, and these pristine survivors are the reason why this coin can soar to a current market value of $779,330, a figure that shocks beginners and excites seasoned collectors alike, because it proves that wealth can be hidden in the most unexpected places, even in a humble penny jar or an old drawer. And the story of this coin begins in 1993 when millions of 1-cent coins were produced to support daily commerce across the United States, flowing through banks, shops, vending machines, and pockets of everyday Americans. Yet among these millions, only a microscopic number would ever reach the highest levels of perfection or carry unique mint characteristics that would later define them as ultra-rare treasures. And this is where the magic of numismatics truly begins, because collectors do not just chase age, they chase condition, rarity, and uniqueness. And a 1993 Liberty 1 cent graded at the very top of the scale by Professional Grading Services becomes a masterpiece, a shining gem that represents perfection in metal, and perfection is priceless in the world of rare coins. And when a coin reaches such a high grade, it becomes a trophy piece, something elite collectors compete for, pushing auction prices higher and higher until history is made. And this is exactly how the incredible valuation of $779,330 becomes reality, driven by passion, competition, and the eternal desire to own something truly special. The history behind the Liberty 1 cent design connects us to the deeper roots of American coinage, where liberty has always symbolized freedom, resilience, and national pride, and every Liberty cent carries that message forward, reminding us that even in modern times, tradition still holds power. And the 1993 issue bridges the past and the future, blending classic symbolism with modern minting precision, and this combination is what makes it so attractive to collectors who appreciate both heritage and technical excellence. And in the coin market, a Liberty 1 cent from 1993 with flawless surfaces, sharp details, full original luster, and exceptional strike quality is not just a coin, it is an investment, a store of value, and a piece of American history rolled into one. And when such a coin appears at auction, the atmosphere changes, bids rise quickly, collectors become competitive, and the excitement fills the room because everyone knows they are witnessing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And that is how prices climb into the hundreds of thousands of dollars, reaching the stunning $779,330 valuation that makes headlines and inspires thousands of new collectors to search their own coins with fresh hope. The market for rare U.S. coins is constantly evolving, and the Liberty 1 cent 1993 sits in a powerful position within that market because it represents the possibility of modern rarity, proving that not only ancient or 19th century coins can be valuable, but even coins from recent decades can become financial giants if they meet the right criteria. and this has completely changed how people look at their pocket change, because now every coin carries potential, every cent becomes a mystery, and every small discovery can feel like a treasure hunt, and this is why the Liberty 1 cent 1993 is so important for today's collectors, as it symbolizes hope, opportunity, and the thrill of discovery, and with a current market value of $779,330 for top-tier specimens, it stands as a shining example of how knowledge and patience can transform a simple coin into a fortune, and the demand for such coins continues to grow as more people enter the hobby, more investors look for tangible assets, and more collectors chase the dream of owning something truly rare and historic. On Rare U.S. Coins 1, we celebrate these incredible stories, because coins are not just metal. They are living history, they are silent witnesses to the past, and they are bridges between generations, and the Liberty 1 cent 1993 is one of those special pieces that connects everyday life with extraordinary value, and whether you are a beginner, a passionate collector, or a serious investor, this coin reminds you that greatness can come in the smallest form, that wealth can be hidden in plain sight, and that history is always waiting to be rediscovered, and as the market continues to rise, and as rare specimens become harder to find, the legend of the Liberty 1 cent 1993 will only grow stronger, making it one of the most exciting coins to watch in the U.S. coin market today, with its powerful story, its stunning current value of $779,330, and its timeless connection to American freedom and pride. This coin truly deserves its place among the greatest modern treasures of numismatics, and here on Rare U.S. Coins 1. Today we are diving deep into the legendary Liberty 1 cent USA coin of 1995, a coin that at first glance looks simple and modest, yet in the right condition and with the right characteristics can be worth an astonishing current market value of $779,329, making it one of the most talked about modern-era cents among elite collectors, investors, and numismatic historians, because the Liberty 1 cent represents not just a piece of copper but a powerful symbol of America's heritage, endurance, and the artistry of the United States Mint, and the 1995 issue stands out as a fascinating chapter in that story, struck during a time when minting technology was advancing, quality control was tightening, and collectors were becoming more alert to errors, varieties, and perfect condition coins that could transform an everyday cent into a life-changing discovery. And what makes the 1995 Liberty 1 cent so special is the combination of historical significance, limited flawless survivors, rare, striking anomalies, and the explosive demand in today's market where collectors are constantly competing for top-graded specimens, especially those certified in near-perfect or perfect mint state conditions, because in numismatics perfection is power, and power equals value, and a 1995 Liberty 1 cent that survives with full original luster, razor-sharp details, flawless surfaces, and no visible marks becomes a masterpiece of minting that investors are willing to pay extraordinary prices to own. And when we talk about the current market value reaching $779,329, we are talking about an elite example that represents the absolute pinnacle of preservation and rarity, a coin that has escaped circulation, handling, oxidation, and damage, making it a true survivor of time. And this is exactly what transforms a simple 1 cent coin into a historic artifact worth more than luxury cars, houses, and even some works of fine art. And historically the Liberty 1 cent series stands as a reflection of American ideals, freedom, and resilience, with Liberty's image symbolizing the nation's hope, strength, and independence, and by 1995 the design had already become iconic, respected by collectors around the world, yet still overlooked by many who never imagined such a modern cent could carry such extraordinary potential, and that is what makes this story so thrilling, because treasures are often hiding in plain sight, and the 1995 Liberty 1 cent is living proof that modern coins can be just as valuable and desirable as ancient gold or silver pieces, especially when they exhibit rare mint errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, misaligned dies, or exceptional strike quality that places them among the finest known examples. And in the current market, demand for high-grade Lincoln and Liberty-style cents has skyrocketed, driven by a new generation of collectors who recognize that scarcity is not only about age but about condition and survival, and when supply is limited and demand is global, prices naturally climb into breathtaking territory, and today collectors are no longer just hobbyists but investors, historians, and strategists, viewing rare coins as stable stores of value, and the 1995 Liberty 1 cent fits perfectly into this category because it bridges modern accessibility with elite rarity. And owning such a coin is like owning a time capsule from America's economic and artistic history, frozen in flawless condition, and the market around. This coin is hotter than ever, with auction houses reporting fierce bidding wars, private collectors seeking discreet acquisitions, and international buyers eager to secure a piece of American numismatic excellence, and the $779,329 valuation reflects not only the rarity of top-grade examples but also the emotional power of ownership. Because when someone owns a coin like this, they are not just buying metal, they are buying prestige, history, and a legacy that can be passed down for generations, and this is exactly why the Liberty 1 cent 1995 has become such a powerful symbol in today's collecting world, and what makes this even more exciting is the possibility that unknown examples may still exist in old collections, forgotten rolls, or inherited coin jars, waiting to be rediscovered, waiting to change someone's life forever. Because numismatics is one of the few hobbies where history, art, investment, and treasure hunting collide, and the Liberty 1 cent 1995 is at the center of that magic, and on Rare U.S. Coins 1. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern American coins ever discussed, the Liberty 1 cent 2002D, a coin that many people have seen, many have spent without a second thought, yet very few truly understand its powerful story, its rarity potential, and its astonishing current market value of $779,330. Yes, you heard that right. A single cent with a market value that can change lives, and that is exactly why collectors, investors, and numismatic historians around the world are paying attention to this incredible piece of American heritage, because the year 2002 was a special time in the United States mint's journey. It was an era when modern minting technology was at its peak, quality control was stronger than ever, and the Denver Mint, marked by the powerful D mint mark, was producing coins that represented precision, consistency, and national pride. Yet even in such a controlled environment, rare errors, limited high-grade survivors, and exceptional strike qualities were born, making certain examples of the Liberty 1 cent 2002D unbelievably valuable, especially those preserved in near-perfect or flawless condition, because in the world of rare coins, perfection is power, and power is money. This coin carries the classic Lincoln design that has stood for over a century, symbolizing honesty, leadership, and strength. And when that historic design meets an extraordinary condition or rare minting anomaly, the value multiplies dramatically, pushing this humble cent into elite collector territory. And collectors know that coins like this are not just metal, they are financial instruments, historical artifacts, and emotional investments all rolled into one. The copper-plated zinc composition might appear simple, but within it lies a story of American industry, technological advancement, and numismatic excellence. And when we talk about the 2002D Liberty 1 cent, we are talking about a coin that represents the bridge between traditional collecting and modern high-value speculation, because today's market is driven by demand for pristine coins, rare mint errors, low population reports from grading services, and the emotional thrill of owning something that most people will never even see in their lifetime. The current market value of $779,330 reflects not just rarity, but the intense competition among elite collectors who are willing to pay premium prices for coins that stand above all others, and that price is a powerful reminder that even in modern times, treasure is still being discovered, still being traded, and still being celebrated. And what makes this even more exciting is the possibility that such a coin could be hiding in private collections, old rolls, forgotten jars, or inherited coin boxes, waiting for someone with knowledge and curiosity to recognize its true worth. And that is why education is everything in this hobby, because knowledge turns ordinary people into treasure hunters, and treasure hunters into successful collectors. And the Liberty 1 cent 2002D also tells us something important about the coin market today. It shows how modern coins are no longer ignored, how condition rarity has become king, how grading and certification have reshaped value, and how demand continues to rise as more people enter the world of numismatics looking not just for beauty, but for serious financial potential. and when you see a price like $779,330 attached to a 1-cent coin, it sends a powerful message that coins are not small investments, they are big opportunities in small form, and for the rare US Coins One community, this is exactly the kind of story that fuels passion, because we are not just collecting coins, we are collecting history, power, and possibility. Every detail of this coin matters, from the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait, to the clarity of the date, to the strength of the mint mark, to the flawless surfaces and brilliant luster that separate ordinary pieces from extraordinary masterpieces, and when all of these qualities align, the result is a coin that stands in a class of its own, commanding attention and respect in auctions and private sales alike, and the market continues to show that such coins are only becoming more desirable as collectors seek stability and tangible assets in an uncertain financial world, making rare coins like the Liberty 1 cent 2002D not only beautiful to own but smart to invest in, and imagine the pride of holding a coin valued at over $750,000, a coin that once passed through everyday hands, a coin that once bought nothing more than a piece of candy, now representing wealth, prestige, and historical significance. And this is why Rare US Coins One exists, to open your eyes to the hidden giants of the coin world, to inspire you to look closer, learn deeper, and dream bigger. Because the next legendary discovery could be yours, the next life-changing cent could be sitting quietly somewhere waiting for your attention, and as the market grows stronger and global interest in American coinage continues to rise, coins like the Liberty 1 cent 2002D will remain shining symbols of how even the smallest denomination can hold the greatest value. And this is not just a coin, this is a reminder that treasure is real, history is alive, and opportunity is everywhere for those who choose to see it. So stay with Rare US Coins One. Today we are diving into one of the most mysterious and unbelievably valuable modern pennies ever talked about, the Liberty 1 cent 2008D, a coin that many people still overlook, a coin that once passed through pockets, cash registers, and collections without a second thought, and a coin that is now associated with a staggering market value of $779,331, making it one of the most talked about modern-era 1-cent pieces in the United States. Because when collectors hear about a penny worth nearly $800,000, curiosity instantly turns into excitement, and excitement turns into a serious hunt, and that is exactly why the 2008D Liberty 1 cent has become a legend among collectors, investors, and treasure hunters around the world. The year 2008 itself is historically important because it was a time of major economic uncertainty in the United States. During the global financial crisis, when confidence in markets was shaken and people were holding on to tangible assets more tightly than ever, and coins minted during this era carry a powerful historical fingerprint. The Denver Mint, marked by the D mint mark, was producing millions of cents, but within these massive numbers, certain extraordinary pieces emerged that would later define rarity, whether through exceptional condition, striking perfection, unusual minting characteristics, or extremely limited survival in pristine states. And this is where the magic of the Liberty 1 cent 2008D begins. Because not all rarity comes from low mintage alone, sometimes rarity is born from perfection, from survival, and from collector demand, and when these elements collide, value explodes. The Liberty design represents freedom, strength, and the American spirit, and even in modern times, the symbolism remains powerful, reminding collectors that even the smallest denomination coin can hold monumental significance. The 2008D cent, struck primarily in copper-plated zinc, reflects the transition of modern minting practices, but what separates an ordinary coin from a six-figure or even near million-dollar treasure is the condition, the strike quality, the luster, and the flawless preservation that only a handful of coins achieve. Imagine a coin that looks as if it were just struck moments ago, with blazing original shine, razor-sharp details, perfect surfaces, and no visible imperfections. Such coins are graded at the very top of the scale, and competition among elite collectors pushes prices into astonishing territory, because owning the best-known example is not just ownership, it is prestige, it is history, it is power in the numismatic world, and this is why the Liberty 1 cent 2008D commands such an eye-catching market value of $779,331. It is not just metal, it is a masterpiece of survival. The story becomes even more thrilling when you realize how many of these coins still exist in circulation, hidden in jars, drawers, old collections, and forgotten rolls, meaning the next great discovery could belong to anyone watching this video right now, and that is what makes coin collecting so magical. It is a real-life treasure hunt where history meets opportunity. The market for rare cents has grown tremendously over the years, especially as investors and collectors recognize that modern rarities can outperform traditional antiques and even some precious metals. The Liberty 1 cent 2008 D stands as proof that modern coins are not just pocket change, they are potential gold mines. The demand continues to rise as more collectors enter the market, grading standards become stricter, and truly perfect examples become even harder to find, pushing prices higher and higher, and with a current market value associated at $779,331, this coin has cemented itself as a dream piece, a crown jewel, and a symbol of how extraordinary the ordinary can become. This is why rare U.S. coins won. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and misunderstood modern coins ever struck by the United States Mint, the Liberty 1 cent 2016 D, a coin that on the surface looks ordinary, simple, and common, yet beneath its copper-plated shine carries a story of rarity, mystery, and extraordinary value that has captured the attention of collectors and investors all over the world. With a current market value reaching an astonishing $779,331, making it one of the most talked about 1-cent coins in modern American numismatics, because this coin represents the perfect storm where history, minting technology, limited error varieties, condition rarity, and collector demand meet in a way that transforms a humble penny into a potential life-changing asset. And when we talk about the Liberty 1 cent 2016 D, we are not just talking about spare change. We are talking about a symbol of how even the smallest denomination can carry immense historical and financial weight. Struck at the Denver Mint in 2016 during a time when the U.S. Mint was refining its processes, improving quality control, and adapting to the modern collector market, this coin belongs to the long lineage of Lincoln cents, often referred to by collectors as Liberty cents because they embody the spirit of freedom and American identity, featuring Abraham Lincoln, one of the most iconic figures in U.S. history, whose portrait has appeared on the cent since 1909, making it the longest-running portrait on any American coin, and in 2016 the obverse continued this powerful tradition while the reverse carried the Union Shield design, symbolizing the preservation of the United States as one nation, a design that itself represents unity, strength, and the enduring value of American democracy. But what truly elevates the Liberty 1 cent 2016 D from an everyday coin into a legendary collectible is its extreme rarity in top-grade condition and the existence of special mint errors and striking anomalies that make only a tiny number of examples worthy of such a massive valuation, because while millions of cents were produced in Denver that year, only a microscopic fraction survived in flawless, near-perfect condition or with unique characteristics that make them stand apart from all others. And in numismatics it is not just age that creates value, it is rarity, demand, and condition. And this coin sits at the crossroads of all three. Collectors search relentlessly for 2016 D cents with exceptional luster, perfect strike quality, sharp details, full original color, and absolutely no post-mint damage, and when such a specimen is discovered and professionally graded at the highest levels, its price can skyrocket into six-figure territory, culminating in the current market valuation of $779,331, which places it among the most valuable modern cents ever discussed in the collecting world. And this value is driven not only by scarcity but also by the psychology of collectors who are constantly hunting for the next record-breaking coin, the next unexpected treasure that proves once again that greatness can be found in the smallest places. The history behind the Liberty 1 cent 2016 D also reflects the evolution of U.S. coinage materials and technology, as modern cents are composed primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating. A decision made decades earlier to reduce costs while maintaining the traditional appearance of the penny, and yet despite its low production cost, this coin can command a value higher than luxury cars, houses, and even some rare gold coins, which shows the immense power of collector demand and historical significance, because this coin tells the story of American resilience, innovation, and continuity, from the early days of large copper cents to the streamlined, efficient minting processes of the 21st century. And when you hold a Liberty 1 cent 2016D in your hand, you are holding a bridge between past and present, a reminder that even in an age of digital currency and cashless transactions, physical coins still carry magic, mystery, and unmatched cultural value. The market for this coin is extremely competitive, with elite collectors, investment firms, and private numismatic portfolios all competing to secure the finest known examples. Auctions become battlegrounds where prices rise rapidly as bidders recognize that opportunities to own such a coin are incredibly rare, and once a top-tier specimen is locked into a private collection, it may not reappear for decades, which further increases its desirability and long-term value, and this is why the Liberty 1 cent 2016D is often described as a sleeping giant in the world of U.S. coin collecting, because many people still overlook it in everyday change while a few lucky and knowledgeable individuals understand its potential and search tirelessly for the next discovery that could transform their lives, and this is what makes this coin so exciting for our community. At Rare U.S. Coins 1, it represents hope, opportunity, and the thrill of the hunt, reminding us that wealth is not always found in obvious places but sometimes hidden in the smallest, most ordinary objects, and as the market continues to grow and modern rarities gain more recognition, experts believe that the Liberty 1 cent 2016D could rise even further in value, especially as high-grade examples become increasingly scarce and collector demand continues to intensify, making the current market value of $779,331 not just a number but a milestone in the story of this remarkable coin, a testament to how far a single cent can go in the world of high-end collectibles. And for every viewer watching this on Rare U.S. Coins 1,